So let's go ahead and get started in our high percent trading workshop support webinar. Let me do the quick disclaimer. As everybody knows or should know, everything we say and do here at High Percent Trading is for educational purposes only. Futures trading, Forex trading, any type of financial trading always involves the element of risk, and therefore you should only be trading with capital that is risk capital that you can afford to lose. Nothing we say or do here in these live presentations, in any of the webinars, in any of the media, materials, indicators, strategies, or anything else shown or provided should ever be construed as trading or investment advice. And as always, any and all trades that you do take are taken at your sole risk and discretion. All right. Whatever questions or topics you want to try to cover, if we can get them covered today, please go ahead and type those in. What I want to show, I'm going to show at the beginning certain things that you should be doing in your membership as far as loading proper templates and things like that. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a chart. Let's go ahead. I'm just going to open up a YM chart, I think, to begin with here. So obviously, I'm going to go to my control panel, and I'm going to go to File, New Chart, and I'll just do the YM here. All right. Now go anywhere from 7 to 10 days. I'm going to use 10 days here. Any less than 7, you're just asking for a little bit of problems, especially on the weekends when you come off on a Monday, because remember, it's going to go back and look at Saturday and Sunday as well. So I click on where it says Instrument Settings, and then I type a D twice on my keypad, once, twice. That makes it 24/7. All right. You should be using your HPT bars here. That's the 131 bars. And then everybody should have a chart template that you downloaded and saved, and the download and save instructions show that. All right, and that's called, in this case, it's HPT. Okay, now make sure it doesn't say HPT parentheses 1 or HPT space anything. You don't want to have that. It just should say like HPT or whatever you may have renamed it to, but don't have a parentheses 1 or anything in here. All right, and then we're going to hit OK. I just hit OK. I don't go to apply or anything like that. I just go straight to OK. All right, so, but Pat, that's what we're trying to cover now. So if you follow along on this, we should be good. Okay. So the only thing I've done so far is load that template. Now, what do we have as far as the indicators that come on that template? All right, we have the HPT6DT. That's the dynamic trend that shows the deep retraces. We have the HPT6 profit. That's this indicator right here. We have the HPT6 boxing indicator. That's this indicator here. And I want to point out, if you don't like these colors, there's another indicator in here called the HPT6 boxing C. That stands for color change. You can color change these if you want. Okay, but this is not, that one's not in the template. And then the last one is the HPT6 waves. And the waves that I'm running are 4, 4, 4, and 3. Okay, and that's what's backshading this right here. So if you don't want to see that, you can just go to turn the back colors off and they'll disappear. If you want to see them, you can turn them on and they'll be here. So this is where I would start with first. Okay, with this template first. If you want to get the look of what we're running, you start with this template and then you can add two things to it. And I'm going to show that. I'm going to add the S2 and Waves 2 indicator. And when we do that, we'll save it as another template. So what am I going to do? I'm going to right click on the chart. I'm going to go to indicators and I'm going to go down to the HPT6 S2 indicator. That's this one right here. Click new. Then I also want the HPT6 Waves 2 indicator. Click new. All right. Now, on your S2 indicator, on your HPT6 S2 indicator, notice that the range size is 12. That's what it comes up with. What we're showing in the room is 6. All right, so I change that to 6. There isn't anything you have to do on the waves. The HPT6 Waves 2, nothing there except we may have to change the panel where it's displayed. Okay, you see where this says same as input series? We don't want that. And right now we only have panel 3. I can say new panel. Okay, new panel. And then if I go back to my S2 indicator, I'll say new panel. Now that may create a 5th panel, so we're going to have to fix that. All right, so I'm going to hit OK. You're going to see what happens, and then we may have to fix this one more time. We'll wait for it to come up. No, it actually did it okay. All right, so now we have this bottom panel down here as well, and this has the S2 indicator, and it has the Waves 2 indicator. So I'm going to stop right here, make sure everybody's all on the same page here. Yeah, I can do that, Pat. I can do that. All right, but we've got this, and now we can save it. We can save this as another template. So everybody can do this if you want. Therefore, when you start your charts, you can bring them up. Okay, so I'm going to right click here, go to templates, save as. I already have it saved. It's called HPT S2, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, HPT S2. I have it saved as HPT S2. And then I'll hit OK. I'm not going to do it because I already have that. Okay, but that's what you can call it, HPT S2. Notice there's no spaces or parentheses or anything in between. It's just all linear across. Yes, Steve, it will be posted. He said he has to leave early. This is being recorded, so yes. Okay, so now you save it, and now you have two templates. You have HPT and HPT S2. Notice what we didn't do, and this is really important. We did not put an octopus on here, did we? Okay, we didn't put any octopus indicator on here yet. And I want to reiterate, you can save all the templates, all the chart templates in the world that you want, that you create, okay? But don't ever create one that has an octopus on here, okay? Or the mini trader. And we talk about that in those videos that are on the website to look at. But that's the kiss of death. You never want to save a chart template or create a new chart template that has the octopus indicator or indicators on there. That's like taking the octopus out of salt water, you put him into fresh water, he's going to die. Okay? Any questions so far? I'll just stop for a second. Any questions so far? I'll just give it a second to make sure everybody's good. Everybody good? Anybody not good, we'll put it that way. All right. Why profit and not profit 2 is Kenneth's question. You mean on this template, Kenneth? Well, that's just purely a choice. If you want, you can put the profit 2 up here as well. You could add it as another indicator, or you could take out the boxing indicator and put it in, or take out the profit indicator and put it in. That's just strictly up to you. Just strictly up to what you like to see. So you could actually create a third template if you wanted. Right? Strictly up to you. Let's see, question, can you show us what to do with the downloaded HPT files from the website? Now there is I want to make sure everybody's aware of this, okay, as long as you brought that up. Mark, let me go to the website. And actually where this one is, and we'll probably get it moved, is if you go over to the free trial download, I know it's not in the member section, it's in the free trial download, this video, but it's right here. It says importing the packages and templates. Importing the packages and templates. That's the #1 video if you're confused about anything that you should watch. It tells you which files get imported, and it tells you where the templates go, whether it's a chart template or whether it's an octopus template, okay? This is the video you want to see. Importing the packages and templates. Now, probably in the next couple days, I'll get this moved over to a playlist on YouTube, okay? So we'll have it there as well. It's not on YouTube. If it's not, I'll get it posted, but it should be. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not on YouTube, okay? Maybe it isn't. So it is only here. I'll put it up there on a playlist. Okay, so that's where it is. That will help clarify that. Okay, so let's see. We had the question about the HPT6 Profit 2 indicator. If you want to put that up here, you can. That would make another panel, or you could substitute one panel for another. I just think if you start getting too many panels added here, it's too much. Okay. So let's see. There was a question to describe the use of the waves background and the waves color below. Okay, so we're talking about the waves background here and the waves, this is the waves 2 down here. Okay. If I go to the one on the chart, the HPT6 waves, what it's working off of is a 4-range chart. Okay, that's what these 4s mean. It's a 4-range chart. And you actually have to break the range pivot by at least 3 ticks to make a background change. So what it's going to do, for example, if you look at this from here to here, this is at least 4 ticks up and 4 ticks down, at least, okay? It could be more, but minimum 4 up or 4 down. That established another swing area. That's what these swing areas represent, all right? In order for us to change the background color, and all the background color means is now we've taken out a 4-range swing or greater, but minimum 4 range, and we've taken it out by 3 ticks. And then we got our background. So now, as long as each one of these lows on the upside is not taken out by 3 ticks, it's going to stay that way. All right, so it stayed. Notice we had a little lower low here and a little lower low here, but this lower is not 3 ticks below here. This was not 3 ticks below here. We just kept going. Neither was this here. So it kept you going the whole way here. This is important on some of the octopus filters, okay, because it does take this into account on certain ones, and for others it's not. You can see once we broke this by at least 3 ticks, then we got the background change. Notice we don't have anything else until way up here. We came down and it was just kind of straight back up. So this is the area it's looking at right now. It's got to break this by at least 3 ticks. If this completes, then it's got to break this by 3 ticks. That's this background. And you can change this to anything that you want. You can go to 6, you can go to 12, you can go to 8, whatever you like to do. You're going to have to reload it though to show it. Now this is the same thing down here as we talked about here, except this is working off of a much bigger range. This is actually a 12 range down here, okay? And it's got to take it out by 4 ticks. So this whole section on YM, if I go way back, starting right here, we finally got the break of the 12 range, and now the quote trend on the 12 range is up. And it stays up as long as it's blue. So this is looking deep in the background. Both the S2 indicator, which are these lines, right, these 2 lines, and the waves 2 indicator, which is this background, they're looking deeper into larger range charts, even though those are not on your chart that you're following. Okay, and simply that's it. Why this is important is certain of these templates take this into account. And again, on the website, I'll show it. If you review if you go back to the website and where it says High Percent Trading YouTube channel, if you click on this, you're going to get a playlist. All right, mine looks a little bit different, but you're going to get the Octopus templates videos, and this is the playlist. All right, it's the templates playlist. This playlist, each one of these videos, talks about all the differences on all of the Octopus templates, okay? There's 25 different templates. We're only showing and running 2 or 3 in the room every morning because we don't want to complicate things, and that's what we're talking about, and that's what we've been following for over the past month. But once you become familiar with this, there are a lot of others that you can work with in here as well, okay? And I don't want to go into that too much in depth right now, but if you watch all these videos, they'll talk about all the differences, they'll talk about what it's using, and it'll just help you out. Okay. Any more questions on the template before we do an octopus load? Anybody have any questions on the template before we do an octopus load? Again, you can put whatever you want on these. You can put the quarterback indicator up here, or you can put the algo bands, or you can put the right edge indicator. A lot of members like to have the right edge indicator up here. The profit 2, as Kenneth said, you can put that up. The outer limits is another good one. Some of you use like the scoring of price and time indicators, or the DT zones, which is another very good indicator. But obviously, not all traders use the same thing. So we just try to be consistent and fairly straightforward and simple with what we show in the room. But there's a lot of other things that you can put in here. How do you change the color of the yellow bars? You mean on the boxing indicator, Pat? Because that's what you're talking about, right? The boxing indicator. So Pat's question is, how do we change that? Well, there's another indicator in here called HPT6 Boxing C. Okay, so you could create another template, or you could amend your template if you want to put this in instead of the boxing indicator C. That enables you to change the colors of the bars over here. You see that? For the up bars, they're green. For the red bars, they're red. And for the neutral on this one, they're white. So instead of having the yellow bars, you'd have the white bars. But you can change whatever you want. You cannot change the color on the normal boxing indicator, which is in this template. You cannot change the color on that. But you can change the color on the one that's called HPT6 Boxing C. Okay? You can change the color on that. So I just substitute one for the other. It all continues to work the same way. It's not going to affect anything as far as the octopus or anything like that. Remember, you don't need to have a single indicator on the chart at all to run the octopus. Okay. All right. So that we've got our template or templates made. I can just demonstrate that. I already know, let's see, the boxing indicator right now is in panel 3, right? So if I want to add that one, I'll just show it. I'm going to take HPT6 Boxing C. I'm going to go to here. I know I want that in panel 3. So I'm going to put that in panel 3. And I want to remove the other one, the regular boxing. I want to remove that. Remove. And now I hit OK. And now you're going to see the difference. Where there were yellow bars, they're going to be white now. All right, so where there were yellow bars, there's now white bars. And if you want to change the colors again, you can. I don't think we can change them here. Let's see. Oh yeah, actually I think you can change them here too. But change them on there if you like it. If you like your color change, then just resave the template again. You could just go to templates, save as. You could resave it as HPT, or you could save it as HPTC. I'll save it as HPTC. Okay, so I'm actually going to save it, HPTC. Okay, there it is. So now I've just created another template. There we go. Yeah, that helps. For some people, they can't see the reds real well, or maybe the greens real well, or the yellows. The yellow's a little hard to see. The white's a lot easier to see on this background. Okay. All right, so now we're ready to add the octopus. So we're going to go right click on the chart. And we're going to go to indicators, and we're going to add the HPT6 Octopus 717S2 final. That's the one we want. We're going to just start with 1 first of all. All right, I'm going to hit OK. We're just going to start with 1. Because what I'm going to show now is how to load the accelerator and rename it the accelerator if you want. Or save one that's called the accelerator if you want. Okay, so notice what happens. First of all, when we put it on, we get a lot of arrows. Okay, the reason we're getting a lot of arrows is this is running what's called the default template. The default template is also known as the standard template. Also known as the standard template. So if I want to run the accelerator, I'll do load from file, and the accelerator is the Profit 2. All right, this is it right here, Profit 2. I'll click open and then apply. Okay. Now you can take this one step further. If you don't like this name, or if you want to create one that says accelerator, then just do this. Right in here, just type in, or whatever you want to call it, ACCELERATOR. Okay? And then apply, and then save to file. Save to file. Now I already have one called that right here. That's what it's called, HPT6717 Accelerator, but you could name it that and then hit save. I already have it saved, so I don't want to resave it, but that's it. So that's how you're taking the original one, which is called Profit 2, and you're just changing the name up in the designation and resaving it as something else. Okay, so a couple of you said you don't have the Profit 2 template in here. Is there anybody else who doesn't have that in here? Anybody else who doesn't have the Profit 2, the Profit 2 first, the Profit 2 first day, the Profit 3, the Profit 4? Anybody who doesn't have those in the list? And the reason you don't have them on the list then is you didn't either download them or copy them and put them in. I'll go back to the website, back to the members download section. And this is where they're at. There's two in here. There's the 717 final. That one was put out on the 4th of October. And there's the final profit templates. If you don't have that one, Pat, it's because you don't have this done. So you need to download it, save it, open the zip file, copy them, and put them in the folder that you have these in. And again, that video that I showed earlier on how to download and save, again, will explain that. Okay? That will explain it. But if you're missing those, it's because you don't have both of these downloaded. Now, in the future, obviously, in the next 10 days, you're going to be getting a brand new package, okay? I don't think there's going to be anything new in there. There might be one nice new indicator that we're working on, okay? But I don't think there'll be anything new in there, but you're still going to have to take out the old assembly and put the new one in. We're going to try to put them all into one so you don't have to do 2 or 3 downloads, okay? But if you're missing it, that's why. Okay, so we showed how to save. This is the accelerator, right? Everybody good on that so far? Well, let's put it that way. Anybody having a problem or not following this or having a question on it? And I'll just hold for a minute. I think it's better if you go ahead and rename yours and make it this, and that way there's never a question about it coming up. Question from Mark, do we use Octopus 1 or Octopus 2? I believe on this one it's both. So if I click on it, Octopus 1 is on, Octopus 2 is on. Okay, so this one is exactly the way it is. There's nothing you have to do with this, the Profit 2. There's nothing other than if you just want to rename it, that's all. Okay, I know your question though, Mark. When we get to the second one, there is a minor change on that one. Okay, and let's talk about that then. So let's go. Let's load what's called the breaks. Let's load the breaks. Where is that? Load from file. Now, for most of you, you don't have something called the breaks. what you have is this. HPT6 OX 717 S2 Alt W. Okay? That's the breaks, and we're going to rename it so you have it. So it's HPT6 OX 717 S2 Alt W. That's it. Click open. All right, you see the name is S2 Alt W. Here's what we need to do though, and that was Mark's question. Octopus 1 is fine the way it is. Octopus 2, because we only want to take trades in the direction of the major trend, this one would take some counter trend trades the way it is, and we've mentioned it, come down on these last 5 indicators. So anything starting indicator 51 and beyond, not the first 5, just the last 5, anything that's checked, we uncheck it. So we uncheck it, we uncheck it, and we uncheck it. Okay, uncheck it. Just I want to make sure. We're going to go back and look, starting with Octopus 2, indicator 51 and down, uncheck everything. Then click apply, because that'll make it only trade with the trend. Go back to your common settings tab, and now you can rename this or name it breaks. B-R-A-K-E-S. All right, breaks. Apply, save to file, and I already have one here called that. It's called HPT6 OX 717 breaks, and that's it. You'd hit save. I'm not going to save it again because I already have it, but there it is. Now you've actually created 2 new templates. You've created the accelerator and you've created the brakes. So when it's time to bring them up, you bring them up. Go back to the first page on the brakes, Stephen. Is that what you're talking about? Okay, so I'm going to cancel. I'm back here. You want to go to Octopus 1 or what? Global settings. You mean the common settings? You mean this tab, is that right? Common settings, right. What is it you wanted to see in here? Yours is different. What does yours say? How is yours different? On your common settings, how is that different? What do you mean global settings? There are no global settings on this. Am I top? Are you sure you're running the right octopus here? Yeah, I think you're running 897, Stephen. That's what I think you're running. That's why you don't have it. Or 807. I think you're running 807. That's why. Okay. Yeah, you're running the stats, not this. Okay. So mystery solved, right? Okay. All right. I'm going to stop. Any questions so far? Anything, any question, anybody confused or anybody need clarification on what we've covered so far? And I'm just going to hold to make sure we're all good. Question, when will this webinar be posted? Within about an hour, it'll be up. I'll put it in a playlist too. I'll put it on a playlist. Now that playlist won't get up right away on the website, but we'll get it in the playlist. On YouTube, it'll be up in about an hour. Okay, looks like everybody's good so far, I think. Okay, Siraj, good question. And maybe that's because I haven't shown this. Siraj says, do we load the brakes on the same octopus running the accelerator or a separate octopus? We've been running two separate ones, right, Siraj? So we're going to load it twice. We're going to load the octopus twice. So that was the next thing I was going to get to. Good point. So I'm going to go to indicators, and I'm going to load the octopus one more time. Right here, new. I'm going to hit OK. It's going to load it, and then we're going to fix it. And then I'm going to show you something you can do here if you want. So you don't have to turn things on and turn things off. It'll be automatic. All right, so now we have two of them loaded. One here, one here. Okay. I'm going to load. Okay, so we have the brakes loaded on one. If you didn't have it, you go again, load from file, go to what you just saved, the brakes, hit open, hit apply. Okay. Then on the other one, which is the default, that's the one we just loaded, I'm going to load from file, do the accelerator, open, apply. All right. I don't know which ones are on or off. Let's look. Let's start with the accelerator. Octopus 1 is on, Octopus 2 is on, so they're both running. Let's look at the brakes. Did I hit the right one? That was the accelerator. Let's look at the brakes. Octopus 1 is on, and Octopus 2 is on. All right, with the change that we made down here. We don't have anything there. So you obviously don't want to run both of these at the same time. Okay, so there's two things you can do. You can do like we're doing in the room in the morning, and that is I have the accelerator on. Go to the accelerator. I have the accelerator on, and I have the brakes. Why? I don't know why it does that. And I have the brakes off. Okay, that's what we've been showing in the room. There's one other thing you can do. There's times built into this. So, for example, for Octopus 1, you can use these trading times right here. I know this is getting a little more advanced. Do we want to see how to do these trading times now, or do we want to wait till some other time? Because now this is getting a little more advanced. We've gone from, well, okay, show me how to import it, show me how to bring it in, show me where the template should go, show me how the chart should look, show me how to put the octopus on and maybe change some things. But now we're getting into more advanced things. Do we want to cover this now, or should we wait till another webinar when you're more comfortable with it? Wait. I think wait. I think the general consensus is wait. We get more. I think most of you are saying wait, so that's good. A few of you said it's okay, but most of you has said wait. Let's wait. Okay. Now Pat asked, all right, so I'm going to ask a question. So now we have our two octopuses on the octopi on the charts, right? Is this okay to do this? Can I right click on the chart and go to templates and save this as a template? Anybody think I can do that? Good, everybody said no. That was the answer I was looking for. No, nunca, never, nein, right? It's the kiss of death. You kill the octopus. Perfect. All right, good. Everybody's on the same page. Terrific. The answer is, of course, no. You never want to do that. What you can do, and it's never a problem, is when it's time to exit, right? When it's time to exit, you can go to your control panel and do File, Exit. Then it's going to ask you, do you want to save the workspace? You can say yes to all, okay? That is never a problem. Yes to all. And then when you bring it up again, you'll have it there. The way that you left it, you'll have it, okay? That was good. Everybody got that. Now, Pat asked, what if I want to see the high energy times, or if I want the Band-Aid for the pit open? How can I get that? What is that indicator? All right, so I'm going to right click on the chart. I'm going to go to indicators. I'm going to scroll down. The HPT6, I'm sorry, it's the HPT. So over here in a little different spot. It's the HP6 Band-Aid. Okay, this doesn't say HPT. This is HP6 Band-Aid. That's the high energy time band indicator. I'm going to hit new. All right, and I want to load this so we can see. All right, so this is the HP6 Band-Aid. If you have a 5, don't use it. If you have an HP5 Band-Aid, don't use it. You have to use the 6 because we went off of daylight savings time. That's why we use the 6 now. We'll continue to use this until the US goes back on daylight savings time, and then it'll switch over to the 5 again. And we always talk about that. But this is the 6 we're going to do. All right, so I'm going to go OK. I never hit apply, just hit OK. And of course, my octopus is going to reload now to whatever settings that I made. Waiting for it to come up. Here we go. We got it up here. And here it is over here. I'm going to minimize this. Here it is right here. Okay. And notice this is going to adjust it for your time zone that your computer's on, okay? These are the high energy times today for the YM contract, all of these today. But this is my time. This is Pacific time. If you're on the East Coast, it's going to adjust all these by 3 hours. Okay. Notice down here it shows what the major news events were for today. We had unemployment claims at 5:30 and Philly Fed manufacturing at 5:30, but nothing else. Did they move that? That used to be a 7 o'clock report. Did they now move it? Philly Fed used to always be 7 a.m. Pacific. It's okay with me if they moved it. All right. So some of you, just a quick thing, if you want to do the band, let's say you want to do the pit open band, and I'm on Pacific time, so I would set my band in here. I always like to go 2 minutes at 6:32. Remember the band that I show on some markets sometimes? 6:32. Click on the white part. That's the cyan. Turn it cyan. So at 6:32, running it forward, you're going to get the band. You're not going to be able to show it the history band. You can't right click on this and reload and see the band. It won't do that, okay? All of these high energy times, in other words, my time right now is 11:15. All of these high energy times are going to show up till now. This one at 11:22, which we've got coming up, is not going to show. If I want to show it, I have to click on it here and turn that cyan. Don't click over here, click here. See how that's turned cyan color? In 4 minutes, we're going to get a band, and I'll show it when we come back. But what I want to show are these prior bands that it drew on the chart. All right, if we come back, we have prior bands from today. Some of you trade these high energy bands. Some of you trade the pit open. Okay, for example, this was the early one here. I'm not going to go into how to do all these right now, but that was your band, and that was a short entry here. All right, they had another band here. And then here. So you have, for example, long, long, short. All right, but that's the bands. Sometimes you'll have too many tabs up here on the chart, and you're not going to show something, but you will show a little tiny green triangle or gray triangle down there. If you click on that, it will uncover these for you to see. Okay? That's how you do the bands. That's how you do the high energies. All right, you're welcome. Now, we have a little bit more time that I can cover some more questions. And if we have them, we'll cover them. If not, we'll knock off a little early today. So I'm just going to hold to see what questions you might come up with now. Vic said, is there a video for the high energy bands? There are videos out there, Vic. I can't lay my hands on them right now over on YouTube. Part of what we're going to be doing in the next few weeks is we're consolidating a lot of the videos and getting them into what we call playlists, so they'll be easy to find on the website. But right now, I couldn't tell you where to go on that. And I don't know if I would be concentrating on that right now unless you're really, really interested in that. Siraj said for the accelerator, which is the Prophet 2, are both Octopus 1 and 2 turned on? Yes, they both are on. you're going to get, remember, black arrows and red and blue arrows. Same question for the breaks. Answer yes, octopus 1 and octopus 2. Let me show it. So what do we have here? Here's the breaks. Octopus, well, of course I turned them off at this time, but they're both on, 1 and 2. I was showing how to turn things on, turn them off, right? They're both on, but then we also made this one change down here, didn't we? When we saved it, everything from here on down we turned off. Uh, yeah, those trail ticks in the common settings, Stephen, they don't have anything to do with it. Yeah, probably just take those out. They would be in the ATM, that's correct. Yeah, Kenneth, let me think about that on how to address the single entry trade, because I know some people are interested in that. That's always a tricky little trade-off because the really big money is made on the runner. And that's why I like trading in units of 2. A single entry trade, Siraj, is just entering 1 contract, not 2. Okay? And the question was how to approach that. I'm going to give that some more thought here and see if we can address that next week. Yes, you'll be getting passwords for the members page whenever that's ready. When I make that announcement, we'll send an email out to everybody, and I'm going to make the announcement if for some reason you have not gotten the email and didn't get them, you need to let us know. They're not ready yet, but when I make that announcement, okay? So Steven says he uses single entry and he uses the S2 crossover. Is that right on NASDAQ? Just a single entry contract? And you're using the S2 crossover? Okay. Rob said, do you use a second bite on the bite of the apple on the breaks as well? I do. I do, Rob. What is an S2 crossover? An S2 crossover would be, all right, we're in an uptrend. We came down to the mid-band. The S2 indicator, the red one, got below 20, and then it crossed over and above here. Are you waiting for? Are you're waiting for it to cross the green one, okay, which would be here. You're going to get in late. Okay, you get in late on the entry. That's the drawback. The plus is you won't get caught on a drive down though. Okay, so that's what the crossover is. See if I see another example here. So in an uptrend here, for example, let's say when you came down to the phantom, you see where it crossed over? That's the crossover, okay? So that's one way to trade it. You're going to have to use bigger stops though. What size stop are you using on that, Stephen? Because you got to use bigger stops on that. Keep in mind for Siraj, on the breaks, we don't follow the 2-arrow rule. All right, the breaks are resetting automatically. The 2-arrow rule is what we follow on the accelerator. We don't follow it on the brakes because the brakes, by their own definition, are resetting. Yeah, use 16. That's a big stop, right? On the crossover. 16, 10, 10, and 10. You're running it automatically. Yeah, you're running it on the analyzer as well. Yeah. So you got to have a bigger stop there. Rob said, does the S2 need the red line setting up or the green or both? Well, the way it's currently written, Rob, in the octopus, it'll look at either one. It'll look at red or green, okay? You can incorporate both if you want. That's one of the tweak outs you can make later once you get familiar with it, but you'll miss a lot of trades too. So for example, if you needed both red and green, this would be your trade setup here, okay? But if you needed both red and green, you would have never gotten it here, and you would have never gotten it here. So that's why when this was done, it was taking either or into account. See, I think this has got the accelerator running here. I think both of them are running on this. Yeah. Okay. But that's a consideration, Kenneth, that you may want to have on that. And Stephen can talk more about that. He likes that setup. You might even be able to use the regular stochastic on this as well. I haven't looked at that. What is the analyzer? I don't want to cover that today, Siraj, but there's an indicator in here. It's this one. The HPT6 Octopus Stats 807 Final. This will actually do a complete analysis for you with stops, profit targets. It'll look at permutations and combinations as far as your entries are concerned. It's a real powerful analytical indicator. There are videos on this, and we will cover this later, but for now, if you're just starting out, this isn't anything you want to get bogged down into because this takes a pretty good time to work with. Okay? Yeah, Stephen loves it. He works with it a lot. It's a great indicator. And it also works on trails. It'll do your trail stops, your break evens, not break even, but it'll do your trail stops, your thresholds, everything. Give you a complete report. Now let me say this. I know some of you are new, some of you are a while. As I said before, I make myself available for a one-on-one coaching session. They're really reasonable. They're $100 for the hour. They're recorded. If anybody feels they need that, and I'm not hawking it, believe me, I can only do maximum 1 or 2 a day at the most, okay, depending on the day. If anybody feels they need that, and I've already had some requests that I am setting some up, I am available to do that. Just send me an email on it. I can set it up for you based on your schedule. And we do a complete go to meeting or go to webinar like we're in now. We'll be able to share screens, look at it. I record it, and you get the recording. So that really helps fast track you into a lot of things. Some of you might be interested in trading at different times, different instruments, different methods. Okay, because all we're talking about, all we're showing so far is trading the breaks, the accelerator, and then I also show deep retraces. But there's so much more in here as well. So I'm always available for that. And it's purely up to you if you want to do it or not. I have found that probably 95% of everybody who takes advantage and does that, it just puts them like light years ahead of things. What times on the coaching sessions, Suraj? I try to make them flexible. I try to accommodate the schedule. We have some members that are in Europe, others in Australia or New Zealand. Obviously, I'm not going to do one at 3 o'clock in the morning, my time, but I'll structure it around. Yeah, Steven said on the Nasdaq doing the crossover. You're talking about the S2 crossover. It's up $5,000. That's on one contract. Is that right, Steven? But you're running that 24 hours. Yeah, he's done it. He said in the last 4 days it's up $5,000 on a single contract using the crossover. And that was 16, 10, 10, and 10 on that, right? Yeah. So Kenneth, you may want to take a look at that. The passwords for downloading the templates, there was a question on it. Let me just put it in here. I think you all have that. But here it is again. Hang on one second. Okay. That's it. Pat, you'll be able to see that, but everybody else has it. No, he won't run that on it. I mean, he's running it unattended, Kenneth, but he's not running, he's not going to live trade that real money unattended. You've heard me say this before. You don't ever want to do that, ever. It's okay to run it in sim, but never unattended in live. Yeah, for sure. Okay, everybody, that's going to wrap it for today. Okay, those are good questions. I think this was a good kickoff for some of you that are brand new. Okay, kind of built on this, and then we'll continue to build on it more. We'll show the trade setups again tomorrow. Tomorrow being Friday. Friday already, wow. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming. I'll get this posted up. If anybody wants to schedule a coaching session, you let me know, and we'll get it set up. Okay, everyone. Remember what I showed today. You don't want to overtrade. Once you get close to your goals, you want to stop. Trading is not a marathon. Trading is getting in, getting out, and being done quickly. Okay, talk to everyone. Bye-bye.